Hold on a sec. Hold on a second. Please hold. Done redirecting to YouTube. We're live, man. We are live and we are going.
Okay, hold on. Share the link in the group.
Okay, here's the link.
Share it in the group. I'm just getting in.
Hold on a second.
You're showing me your screen, I think.
Yeah, I'm showing you my screen.
Okay, show me you. Are we live on YouTube? Where's the link?
We are live on YouTube. I'm going to show you exactly where we are. We are live on YouTube.
Turn off.
Okay, sorry. We're live on YouTube. You see where we are? Can you see us? Look at this. We're live. This is so exciting.
Oh, we're live. Move away.
Finally.
On YouTube,
All right. What's the link? What's the YouTube link? I need the YouTube link.
The YouTube link is in our group.
Oh, I see it. So I'm going to post it now onto the Facebook. Guys, that was so stressful.
In the stuff.
No.
I mean, shut up, stop.
It's okay. We allow kids on this thing.
We are live on YouTube. All right. Now we'll see how many people show up. Rabbi, you want to take Yisrael? You want to take care of the responding to all the people just with the YouTube link?
Yeah, I will take care of that. Absolutely.
Now, let me click the YouTube link. And guys, if you're going to the YouTube link.
Okay, if you mute yourself, you're not going to show. I'm going to change the speaker view, and if you mute yourself, you're not going to show up.
When you go on the YouTube, just turn off the sound, the volume on the YouTube.
1 second, we need to go on YouTube for this, or
No,
I can
no.
just stay like this?
You stay like this.
You should also know, it's very important to know this, that YouTube has a 4-second delay when it comes to Zoom Facebook Live. View, and if you mute yourself, you're not going to show up. You see?
Right.
Exactly like I was saying.
All right. Okay.
1 second, we need to go on YouTube for this, or
You need to get on YouTube.
If you're watching on
guys,
another
this was
screen.
quite exciting.
Okay, I will.
The live is happening. We have 28 people watching. And finally, guys, the Zoom, this is classic Jewish event, starting late.
we live?
All right, I see some people. Rabbi, put it on the view that everyone can see. We are live.
Wow.
You want the gallery view or person by person? Hey,
I think we should do the gallery view.
you sure?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Okay, we're on.
share the link.
Share the link, share the love.
Link has been shared. I'm going to email it to Ezra because Ezra is the only one without the link. So let me email it to Ezra. He only does email. We got an only email guy.
Yeah, but post it on the Facebook page so people.
I
know
did.
to
I
get it.
shared the link on the
We
Facebook.
posted it, and I'm gonna post it now to people.
Okay.
Julie,
All right, we are ready to begin. I have no idea how many people are watching, but let's get started. All right. So,
I see my name, but not my picture.
Gilad, that's because you're too good looking for all of us. All of us bearded.
No, Ezra.
folks. I'm jealous of you.
Ezra Franken.
So we
Oh,
were
maybe
supposed
that's
to
why.
we were supposed to actually chat for a while before it started, but thanks
Right.
to the Facebook that the coronavirus affected Facebook in some way. Anyone who's on YouTube from us, turn off the volume on YouTube. You can watch on YouTube and then you can hear through Zoom. All right, so Mendy's volume is cut. Rabbi, you turn on Mendy's volume. Turn on your volume. We want people laughing. We want to hear you guys.
Hear me?
Rabbi Bernath, you're in control of who's.
okay, fine.
Mendy
Okay,
Pellin's
hi.
audio. We need Mendy Pellin to speak.
I'm just getting back to everybody over here, so let me just get it back to everyone.
All right, but turn on Mendy Pellin's audio, unless he turns it off himself. Okay, folks. So I guess everyone, welcome everybody. And finally we did it. We had our rough times, but here we go. So I encourage everyone to, all of our viewers from around the world, there are millions of viewers, to take some alcohol with you, or if you don't want to take alcohol, don't. I was going with Labatt Blue. If you find something else that might be more appropriate, go for it. And just relax and enjoy. Try to see what other stuff. Talk about what FrumProv is. We created FrumProv to give people a chance to test out Frum material, explore, their comedy. And if you are interested in performing, just reach out. We're all over social media, so just reach out to us. So let's get started. We've got a Minyan. This is, I think we're like the only Minyan right now in Judaism. Is this correct?
Mm-hmm.
Mendy gives a thumbs up. Basically, the achrayus of Am Yisrael is on us. And there are many people who right now are ending their fasts. Today, some of you might not know, was a fast day that the Sephardic rabbis announced it was a fast day. But Chabad didn't hold of it. The only time Chabadniks fast is when we're in jail, which happens on often enough. The Ashkenazi rabbis said, no way, we are not fasting. They said it's a danger for anyone who has the disease. And over the next, please sell your chametz to a guy, and over the next 8 days, only eat matzah, maror, and charaises. Now, to be fair, the Mendy, not here. He's muted. How did your volume even go on, Mendy? Okay, all right. I hope you guys can see the same screen as me. But anyway, let's continuing with my opening monologue. So the Sephardic rabbis issued a fast day. The Ashkenazi rabbis said no. And the Sephardic rabbis, though, are going to win this round because they're going to be enjoying a Seder on Zoom. Now, the Ashkenazi rabbis are not going to be part of this Seder on Zoom. Now, I understand why they were against this whole Zoom Seder, because they banned the internet. And once it became okay, they signed on to Zoom and saw something that said, please accept our cookies. Now, I'm personally a fan of this ban. For those who don't know, Ashkenazi rabbis that are really all around, there's something called a kosher phone, which is a phone, kind of the old school phone that had, the flip phones that had all the buttons, and it was only this one is missing snake. If you need to hit the S, you want to send a text and you want to use the letter S, you got to hit the 7 button 4 times, which really sucks for wives sending their husbands out to get some sesame seeds by Pashkis. You gotta let us hear the laughter, because this is really awkward.
Oh, that was great. I like the
unmute everyone.
It's even more awkward when there's some laughter.
We could do emojis. There's a clap right there.
There's a clap right. Oh, thank you. But
yeah.
All right. Well, okay. I personally, I looked into it. I want to know who gave the smartphone a texture, because I took a bite out of one, and let me tell you something. We got to find out which rabbis are doing this. But I'm a fan of the smartphone ban, because the thanks to the smartphone ban, nobody knows, like, when with smartphones, anything you do is recorded. People hold up their smartphone, just start filming. But with the ban, there is not a shred of evidence that I shouted Yechi in the Satmar Mikvah. Okay, except for a big bruise on my foot. And the fact that my kids had for 2 weeks. That was for you, Levi. That was for you, Levi. So the smartphone ban, my Rav, there's another reason for the ban, which why I support it, because there are all these really awkward autocorrect problems. For example, I tried to send a text that used the word cholent, and my mother was wondering why I was eating cholesterol for breakfast. I tried to send a donation, and by mistake, hey, not over here. Sign off if you're gonna talk.
A distance.
It's spreading. We're a Minyan.
Off into your elbow, into your elbow.
Into your elbow.
That's why I'm doing my Sub-Zero thing.
Yeah. Cough into a mikvah. So where was I? Yeah. Autocorrect issues. I tried giving a donation to Hatzalah, and by mistake it went to Hezbollah. Yeah, $180. You know how many missiles that buys? Is any of you guys? I don't know you too well. Any of you from the Karta? Mikey, you look like you're from the Karta. Last time you were nice and clean shaven. I got a thumbs up. My Rav told me that I got to get rid of my smartphone and turn it into a kosher phone. So I asked him, like, what do I do? He told me, you take your smartphone and you dunk it in the mikvah. So this is obviously before we had the current situation. I dunked it in the mikvah and it stopped working. So I went to my Rav. I said, my phone stopped working. And he was like, now it's a kosher phone. Turn off the volume on your YouTube, whoever just joined to watch on YouTube from us. Yeah, so I was told that I need to put my smartphone in some rice because the phone gets confused if it should say Nizainis, Hamaitzi, so it completely reboots. But before Pesach, like what self-respecting Ashkenazi Jew has rice around? I put it in some beans, some cholent beans. Now it works. It rebooted, but it randomly blasts Chazanis. Yeah, you know the smartphone ban now, like Chassidim, I don't know, keeping to the smartphone ban. I don't know how if they need to do that anymore, because like what are the Rabbanim going to do if they break it? You know, if they get a smartphone, what are they going to do? They're gonna put them in cherem, leave their kids out of school. Not children, no shidduchim. All right. Okay, let's get moving with our first guest. I don't know, it's scrolling across, so I don't see who it is, but
Can I ask you
Andy
a
Pellin,
question?
are you ready?
Can you hear me?
Ezra, we can hear you, but you're second.
I know I'm second, but I just texted a friend of mine. They said, I asked them if they're able to watch this, and not so simple. Are people able to see this on the Facebook link?
Everyone except for your friend. We specifically made it that he should not be able to watch it.
It's a she.
Yeah, it's not a Facebook link. You got to go on Facebook and then to YouTube. So everyone whose friends want to see them, send them the YouTube link. We got to the YouTube link as Facebook Live.
What's the YouTube link? Sorry.
The YouTube link is youtube.com/I have no clue. I sent it to you in your email.
Someone send it to me? What?
I sent it to you in your email, but now this is turning into like a real show chat. Let's move to the comedy. I'll send you in an email. All right.
Thank you.
Okay, Mendy, are you ready? Okay, someone unmute him. Rabbi, you can't mute people randomly. There we go. Mendy, take over. It's all yours.
Hello, everyone. Sorry my voice is a little off today. It's not from yelling at the kids. Don't worry, they're still alive. This voice is from the kids, and here they are.
Okay. Oh, to do that act took a lot of self-restraint. All right, so over here, I'm hanging out in my house here with my assistant, son Yosef. I try to put him to bed. This is Sheva and this is Hinda. I try to put them to bed, but I guess they're going to have to join me on this because I didn't have any luck. They wanted to stay on for this. So please keep it clean. No Dr. Doomstein jokes. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? So anyway, so today let's talk about what's going on. So that's okay, Sheva. How are we doing today?
This is like a real Zoom meeting. I love it.
This is a real Zoom meeting.
It's Heimish.
It's very Heimish.
Is this what your family meeting looks like?
This is this is Yosef. This is Yosef before Zoom. This is Yosef after. So anyway, right after this whole Chinese virus broke out, and right away there were headlines on Drudge Report Their headlines on Drudge Report. Okay. Their headlines on CNN, on Fox News, everywhere. Big headlines that said Israel 3 days away from discovering a vaccine. Anyone see this?
No. Oh yeah, right away, early on, I saw it.
Oh, it didn't. Yeah, very early on, just when it started. Anyone that has been to Israel and knows Israelis, quickly dismiss this whole thing because we know the Israeli mentality. You know that there's some guy in some company that was.
Your audio went.
Oh no.
His audio went.
His
What
audio-
a classic moment. Did he just
No.
I think his kid logged him out.
No.
That's it. That's it.
His kid logged him out, or I don't know.
You know that there's some guy in some company that was.
Now someone's got the audio on YouTube on. Okay, let's continue, and Mendy will hopefully be back. Mendy, if you're watching this, we'll reconnect with Mendy. I feel like a radio announcer. We'll reconnect with him shortly, and when he gets back, we have our agents calling him, texting him, running over to his house to give him giant hugs. Someone else needs to be muted over here. Oh, you're muting everyone. Don't lay off the muting. I want to hear some laughter. I just want to share that we actually wanted to part of the reason for this evening was to calm everyone down. And originally the Chabad Shliach to Wuhan, China was supposed to come on and share how it, because he's already gone through the entire experience. He was supposed to share, but wait for this, guys. This is a Tati joke coming, all right? And I have plenty of Tati time to prepare for this. He was officiating a bat mitzvah.
Oh.
I know, I went there. I had to, I'm sorry. The truth is, Chabad is amazing. Chabad's all over China. I am Chabad. I happen to have someone on the in, and Mindy Cullen's joining, so let me finish this joke quick. But I happen to know someone on the in, and Chabad really is trying to find a solution. They've actually been sending, because the shluchim are really bothered by this, so they've been sending shluchim. They've already sent 8 guys to Wuhan, and they'll keep sending people until someone survives. All right, Mendy, now back to you in the studio.
Where did I cut off, by the way?
Right before the punchline.
The Israel joke.
The Israel joke, is that okay?
When you're after 3 days.
It says the connection's not stable on my end. I don't know what happened, but
It's
I think
Crown Heights is not stable. It's general Crown Heights.
they're definitely
Sorry to interrupt.
talking about
Sorry
Israel. All right. Well, anyway, now it should work fine. Are you having technical difficulties there?
Hold on,
I
Ezra, what's up?
need the YouTube link.
Hey,
Ezra.
who invited someone that is at risk, in the at-risk category, to do stand-up with us? I don't understand. What is going on here? It's me.
Ezra, I
What's
emailed
this
you the
guy?
link.
Just turn the computer off, wait an hour, and turn it back on, and then it'll work. All right, anyway. So everybody, anyone that has been to Israel knows exactly what's behind the headline. Israeli lab is 3 days away from the vaccine. Is basically an Israeli that was just like, you know what? Give me 24 hours. I come up with a vaccine. Okay, I go to the lab. 24 hours. And Martha, please make a release press to CNN and all the hashtag that we come up with cure in 24 hours. You know what? Make it 3 days just to be safe. Okay. Everyone that has been to Israel dismissed that headline right away. That Israel's coming up with a cure. But anyway, right when this whole thing came out, my daughter came home from school, okay? This one right here. She came home from school just like this on her scooter, like that, with her backpack on. And I said, hey, Sheva, what's the deal? How was your day today? What's going on?
Good. Oh, Abba, I have a new kid in my class from China.
Oh, wow. Okay. What? Sheva, listen. You don't have to be best friends with that new kid. You know that.
Don't worry, there's no corona in Crown Heights.
Ah, that's true. That's true, by the way. If you look at 770, thank God Crown Heights has been spared from corona. There's Minyanim on the streets. There's people out. Crown Heights is safe, a safe place. So everyone could come to Crown Heights. We are in good shape. Right, guys?
Yes.
All right, guys, cough if you have corona. No, if you that was a trick question. That was a quick. Okay.
Question.
Anyway, so as you can see, I love my kids, guys. I really love my kids so much. But being stuck at home, can drive a parent a little crazy, right, guys? Have Abba gotten a little crazy? Yeah. So, but I realized that if it's crazy for me, imagine how it is for atheist parents, for non-Frum parents. Like for non-Frum parents, they have to go with something like this. Hey, Joe, what's going on? How was your day?
Why is there corona?
Oh, why was there corona? Well, because there was a specific sequence of bacteria in a bat in Wuhan, China. Any other questions?
Why are you in charge?
Oh, well, if you think about it, when you go through experience in life, you need somebody that has more experience than you. So if you're in charge, think about the logic. You see, it takes a long time to explain things to kids at home, asking a million questions in an atheist house. In a Frum house, in my house, it's very simple, very simple. Yosef comes home, he's hanging around, I'm trying to do my thing, I'm on my phone, and then he asks a question.
Why is there corona?
Because that's what that's how Hashem made it.
Why are you in charge?
Because that's how Hashem made it.
How come I can't watch Netflix now?
You think Hashem wants you to watch Netflix first thing in the morning?
Abba, where do babies come from?
What kind of question is that? Hashem. But if you, but it does get a little more complicated, guys. Like by doing regular Gentile kind of stuff, it gets complicated when you're Frum. Like, for example, breakfast in bed sounds really nice. I have the Gentile starts off, they wake up, they have some coffee right there. Everything is very smooth. By us, you gotta have the Negelwasser ready in bed. You're spilling Maidani, brachas, you're spilling the Negelwasser all over the place. You're yelling at the kids. That's right. And it's a mess. It's a mess. And I also realized that something else is more complicated. Like, for example, when I sing songs, my daughter cuts me off every once in a while. For example, I was singing this song the other day. One second, Shep. I was singing this song the other day, and Hinda, she kept on cutting me off. What's going on over there? You guy with a beard. Am I still on?
You're still on. You're still on.
Okay. So you see, so I was singing the other day. You know the song. I was just under my breath. I was like, "Hush, little baby, don't cry a bird. I was gonna buy you a mockingbird. If that mockingbird don't sing, Mama's gonna buy you a diamond ring. And if that diamond ring don't shine, Mama's gonna buy you a bottle of wine. And if that bottle of wine's a crack, Mama's gonna buy you a Cadillac. Cadillac don't run, Mama's gonna buy you a BB gun. And if that BB gun don't shoot, Mama's gonna buy you a parachute. And if that parachute don't open, Mama's gonna say Baruch Dein Emes. Guys, I'm Andy Pellin. I'll be home all week.
First dynamic.
That was amazing. Mendy's kid.
Give it up for
Everyone's
Yosef, guys. Great job, Yosef. Sheva, amazing. Hinda, amazing.
Mendy, Yosef, Hinda, and Sheva Pellin, folks. That was awesome. All right, now Mendy's gonna probably sign off to put the kids to bed. You know, I heard something. I had to write it down because Baruch Spiegelman gave me this great word. Oh boy, someone needs their apple juice. Did you hear that, Yoni? That's you. You need apple juice? Yeah. So Baruch Spiegelman gave me this great joke that I'd like to share. Corona is like smicha. You need to get tested. Oh, sorry. You don't need to get tested to have it. There's more. Hold on. It's better to get it when you're younger. And there's one more. Everyone that was in 770 got it. I'll mute everyone so we hear some laughter. But moving on, before we move on, I just wanted to comment a bit on, Mendy said, spoke about the 16 kids at home. And the reality is that everyone right now is like a Chabad Shliach, with all the kids at home and just, you know, Chabad Shluchim have kids at home all the time and like 1 hour of online school. This is what Chabad Shluchim go through. No meat for Pesach. This is normal Chabad stuff. I have to deal with all my 16 kids at home. And what I found really works, this is a life hack for you fathers out there. Play hide and seek. You tell them, all right, I'm going to hide. And then you go to the park down the block and spend 4 hours working. In unrelated news, I'm about to get a get. But on the bright side, that will help with my social distancing. Now, no, but we are obviously I'm not playing hide and seek with my kids, not at this time. We play. I have a good collection of board games. We play pretty much every board game, not Chinese checkers, and it's basically, you know, there's no chavrusa, no learning. This is pretty much 2 weeks of Nittelnacht or 2 months of Nittelnacht, and Nittelnacht is like my favorite yontif of the year. Yoni, I see you over there. Do you like Nittelnacht? You give it a 2 thumbs up?
Yeah, oh, jeez. What happened here?
Yeah, I don't know. Unmute, folks. Nittelnacht is, yeah, Nittelnacht is my favorite yontif of the year. I'll tell you why. It's like a minhag to play chess on Nittelnacht, which is really, really appropriate if you think about it, because the entire goal of chess is to kill the king. Right? Like the only piece that has a cross on top of it. And Nittelnacht celebrates Yoshke's bris. So in my family, we actually have a tradition. We buy a new chess set and we just chop the cross off the top of the king. Very, very appropriate. We also play hangman, which that one might be a little offensive. Sorry, did I go too far? You know, I asked my Rav, because I have a regular chavrusa, and this past Nittelnacht, I asked my Rav, like, you're not supposed to learn on Nittelnacht. Should I sit with my chavrusa? Like, should I cancel it for today? And my Rav said, no, sit with your chavrusa and just tell jokes, share stories, read a little bit. And so in the end, I didn't. I didn't sit with my chavrusa at all because I didn't want to do Marasayim. All right, next up, we have the one of us who is most likely to...
Yeah, I just, being that this is interactive, I just want to say we got a comment from Benny Friedman, a huge celebrity. And he wrote, and he said, Mendy, that was...
1 second, who?
Kinahora.
1 second, who?
Manis's son.
Oh, okay. From where is he from?
From Minnesota.
Minnesota, yeah. With the bridge falling and over there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Anyway, so he's watching, he's enjoying it.
Good. Let's read a couple of comments. Mendy, I love your article in AIM. I really enjoyed it.
Thank you, Steve. Thank you.
Yeah, no, but he's referring to he ran out of.
Oh, you're reading a comment? I thought you were telling me.
I did. I actually did enjoy your.
I actually never buy Ami. I only bought it because I saw Mendy on the cover.
Thank you. Oh, wow.
Whoa.
Thank
We
you.
did also.
That means a lot to me.
We did that also.
It
That's
wasn't
good.
AIM.
Also, don't
Whoever
tell them
you
we
are,
get it every
Ben
week.
led. It was an Ami, not AIM.
Wink, 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 wink.
What?
AIM is the kids version. It was an Ami. Let's see. Are there any others? Cough if you have corona, says someone. Any of you? Someone.
I have no idea, but it's very possible.
Someone in this room.
He's asymptomatic.
I have no idea, but it's very possible.
Okay. Let's move on to our next contestant.
I think while we have a Minyan, we should just clap on the tish and say Yalla V'Yave.
Valid.
Fantastic.
But anyway, let's move on to our next speaker, next comedian. Ezra Franken, you have the floor.
Thank you. We just had Purim. A lot of people asked me where did the name Purim come from, and I said, well, two guys, they hung Haman from a tall tree, and two guys, you know the whole story, looked up and saw him swinging and go, poor him. We're having a Pesach coming up, and we have to use a Haggadah. And I was actually somewhere, and somebody dropped the Haggadah, and they said, no, you don't kiss it, you hug it. It's a Haggadah. Oh, okay. There was, I was traveling and I'm going to Brooklyn, and I was going down the street, and I said, how do I drive to the museum? She goes, just keep on going straight. I had just come back from Israel, and she goes, just keep on going straight. So I said, Yashar? She goes, yeah, I'm sure. Uh-huh. Anyway, I went to the States a lot. Single guy, I go deer hunting, as my father called it, because I was deer hunting because, I was looking for a deer, D-E-A-R, not D-E-E-R. And, they wanted big bucks, they wanted doe. And there was a rabbi in New York who got in trouble. He was very Orthodox, and he said, you know what, he wasn't actually close their ears, sorry. He was in favor of same-sex marriage. And they go, what? People got very upset with him. There were critics. They said, how can you even say that? She goes, of course, same-sex. The Lubavitch should marry the Lubavitch, Satmar should marry Satmar. There was actually a woman hired in New York for school, and she wasn't from. They told her she had to be tzniut. So she wore long sleeves. But then the summer came, she was so hot, she goes, no, I'm not wearing long sleeves. She goes, no, you have to, you signed a contract. She said, look, there's no way I'm gonna wear long sleeves. So actually she showed up at work with short sleeves. And the principal said to her, look, you signed a contract. She goes, I'm gonna take you to court. So she took the school to court. And guess what? The judge actually ruled in her favor. Why? Because he says in the States has the right to bear arms.
But
Thank you, kids, for laughing. In fact, I had an optical store, optometrist.
is it good?
An optical store in Yerushalayim called the Bell Vision Center. And I got a lot of Chassidim because they thought it was the Bell's Vision Center. Downtown, an optician in Montreal wanted to open up an optical center with me downtown on Blurry Street. I said, no, that's not a good name for an optical center. The Blurry Vision Center? Get it? The Blurry Vision Center?
Joke.
That's a very Montreal joke.
Some people have heard about the Badatz Hechsher. You know what the Badatz Hechsher, where it comes from? Some people think it's Bet Din Tzedek, but in fact, the Mashgiach goes into the kitchen and goes, that's not kosher, that's not kosher, that's not, but that's kosher. That's where the Badatz Hechsher comes from. The Reform Hechsher is a little bit more simpler. The cook yells to Mashgiach,
A few seconds.
hey, is this kosher? He goes, heck, sure.
It's a real laugh.
As you notice, I love puns. And why do I love puns? Do you know? Because I went to the Panovich Yeshiva. That's where I taught how to do. And this is an older story. Well, actually, this man belonged to a temple, and he had 3 sons. And he says, he went to the rabbi and says, Reform rabbi, I don't understand it. I have 3 sons. They all went to the temple. The younger one keeps kosher, keeps Shabbos. The older one goes to learn with Chavrusa. So wife covers her hair. The third one is in Kollel. What happened? What went wrong? So he goes, you check your mezuzahs? One of my favorite, well, actually, it's a true story. Oh, this is a different story. This older man yells to his wife and says to me, excuse me, I want to test your hearing. So she goes, he stands 20 feet behind her and says, can you hear me now, honey? Nothing. Goes 15 feet behind her. Honey, can you hear me? Nothing. Goes 10 feet behind her. Says, honey, can you hear me now? She goes, for the third time, yes. And there's another story. Oh, you know, there was one girl, she was dating this guy. She had to break up with him because she discovered he was a real ardent communist. He was such a communist. She goes, but she says later, I don't know why I didn't see it. There were so many red flags. There were so many red flags. And in fact, I was in, now with the coronavirus, there's a whole story that the RCMP discovered a whole pallet of toilet paper hidden among the cocaine. That was, they were surprised.
That's pretty.
And there's a story, the red flag. And so the one last story was one of my favorite. Is a true story about a man. He kept on going out with women. And every time he brought a girl home, the mother couldn't stand her. This wasn't good. That wasn't good. He was so frustrated. He said, I'm never going to get married. Finally, he goes out with a girl. And guess what? She looks like a bit like the mother. She talks a bit like the mother. She even dresses a bit like the mother. So he says, what can my mother criticize? So he finally takes the courage to bring the girl home, the young woman. They have dinner, and the mother and the woman click. They start talking. He's talking on the phone. He's thrilled. He finally met a woman that his mother cannot criticize because it's like a clone. Finally, the poor guy had to break up with the girl. You know why? Why? Because the father couldn't stand it. That's the story. Anyway, thank you for listening to my jokes, and I'm happy that we had another wonderful evening together. And stay healthy, and we'll connect again.
That's awesome. Guys, for those who don't know, Yoni is he's an optometrist. He checks ears and nose. He is great at it. I've been to him several times. He checks all parts of your body. It's a little frisky, but I want to read some comments while you were going, Ezra. Very good, Ezra. Such dad jokes. I think that everyone's appreciating the dad humor at a time like this.
Thank you.
Not
everybody wants their eyes checked. They like that. Some people like to have them striped instead of checked. All right. Moving right along, we're going to continue with our next comedian. Yoni Chanowitz, you ready? Are you on? You're like muted.
Yeah!
Woo!
Yoni, you're up.
So, if anyone ever had I have a roach problem in my apartment here, but it's like it could be. I mean, when you first have roaches, they're just you get I put like a helmet on my kids, and we're all standing there with Reed, like we're about to jump off of we're about, that's D-Day, and we're getting out there, and we like come to the kitchen, go move. You're spraying all around, and then it just gets out of hand, and like they find their ways into everything. It's like I mean, they're not paying rent, and it's so I for first you just start spraying, and then you get an M16, and then you get a nukes, and I'm blowing holes in my walls, but it's it's okay. After a while, you just start realizing, the roaches are here. We need to accept them. So I have this new recipe where oatmeal where you have raisins and possibly roaches. I asked the Rav, and he said he said you're crazy and you need help. But I took that as a good sign. And so I play this game now. We have our oatmeal with raisins. You know, experimenting, like trying to see is it a roach, is it a raisin? You're not sure. Take like a little taste, and then you get it's good. It's good protein in the morning. After a while, after a while, as you get used to it, and you wake up in the morning, you feel something crawling in your head, and you're like, oh, sorry, Albert. And they deal with it. Another thing, someone wanted me to talk about. I happen to run Dungeons and Dragons. If anyone know what Dungeons and Dragons is,
Yeah. Clap it up.
Yeah, we know what Dungeon. You got to explain it for those.
I explain that those who don't know, Dungeons and Dragons are a bunch of geeks, not nerds. There's a big difference. A bunch of geeks sit around on the table and make up a story together. Usually, the story is in some place that doesn't exist. It's sort of like learning Gemara, except this stuff will never apply to your life ever. So I run a Dungeons and Dragons campaign, and in my Dungeons and Dragons campaign, I tried to make it Chassidish. So I took my players and I sent them to the fabled, legendary dungeon of Union Mikvah. The Union Mikvahs. As you have passing the doors of Union Mikvah, which are covered by vines, growing over a span of eons, 5 years, but it seems like eons. Finally reached the door, which creaks open, and you behold the giant slime monster covering the entire floor. The slime monster has paraphernalia in it from ages gone past of people who for some reason need to bring a Sports Illustrated into the mikvah. Passing through the slime monster, they then reach the showers. In the showers, everything seemed quiet and fine until a giant ball of hair, pubic hair, building up over centuries of mikvah goers, all coalescing into one beast, one villainous creature that then attacked the players. They fought it off. They fought it off with all their might. Yeah, and then this guy comes in. What do you have to say? Okay. And then, when you finally reach the zenith of the mikvah, they reach the bar. In the bar, at the very depth of the bar, they found Charlie Button's lost rubber ducky. They grabbed hold of Charlie Button's lost rubber ducky, carrying it slowly into the light, showing it into the glorious daybreak as it survived the Union Mikvah. Next time, I think I'll send them into the evil tower of doom, known as Crown Heights Based In. That's a good thing. If anybody wants to play, I'm open anytime. We could run a game.
Yoni Chanowitz, ladies and gentlemen. Woo! That was amazing. I think that's the first. We've gone nasty. Nasty Frum humor exists, folks. Let's read some comments from Yoni. Yoni is a bot. Yoni, what do you say to that accusation?
I don't have any comment.
Someone tells you.
I like how your Twitter icon keeps on getting closer and closer. Before you know it'll be your pupil that I'll always see.
That would be perfect. We have Ezra around to check that out.
My goal is that I want to get to the point where you could like see one of my like zits about to pop, and then
Guys, check him out on Twitter. Tell everyone your Twitter handle.
Yoni Channel, Rabbi Yo, RABBIYO.
That was awesome, Yoni. Yoni, that was amazing. I think you should do like bedtime stories for kids live on Zoom every night.
I don't know if I can use all of. I'll freak kids out with the slime. Except for my kids, I don't know. For some reason, my kids. You see that little guy over there? He's insane. I tell him the stuff. He's just slime monster. God, I'm going to hit you with a stick.
Could we meet your kid?
Yeah.
No, he's hiding now.
Introduce him. Come on.
What? He's running. I would need to give him a wedgie. No,
What's his name?
Ari Labe. Ari Labe.
I'll be late.
Who remembers Arya Labe in Crown Heights? Lahavdil.
Who's Arya Labe from Crown Heights?
Abba.
Never mind.
Wasn't he the guy who could run with the coffee? All the coffee goes up in the air and then back down into his cup.
Yes, yes. On his way back down to Kingston Avenue, he collected his coffee.
All right, let's move on to the next comic, Mikey Greenblatt. You ready to go?
Woo!
Try something. Give me 1 second. I need to prep.
You need a prep. Okay, we'll move. Gilad, are you ready? Gilad, you gotta unmute. I see you're muted.
Ready.
Oh, you're good, Mikey. Okay, Gilad, get into the, what's it called? The relief zone. Mikey, we're connecting.
I'm in. Pat me in, coach.
It seems like we lost Mikey.
Can you see me on this?
We can't see you on it. We just see your name. But it's okay because it's like an improvement.
Put him on pause.
All right, let's go. Gilad, are you ready to do yours? We'll move Mikey
I'm
down.
ready.
All right, Gilad, you're on. Go. Gilad Ben-Dor, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, thank you very much. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Give it up for the one and only Tzvi Hershkowitz. I know you said that this was just a men's only event tonight, Tzvi. But I invited a couple of maidos to the show.
They're not sneers. I could see some elbows there.
The very diverse crowd here. Okay, Tzvi, well, I'm so happy to be here. And you know what, given the matzav that we're in, it's amazing. It's really amazing. I finally found enough time to take apart my sukkah. It was very awkward. Is this microphone on? Is this working for you?
We can hear you. We can hear you loud and clear. Hold on. I think everyone should unmute. He needs to hear some of your laughter. I can see you guys laughing, but he can't.
I'm unmuted.
Okay. Before we get into it, I just thought it was very apropos tonight if we just do a little vort, share a little vort, something in the Gemara, something relevant to the matzav that we're in. Is that okay, guys? You just indulge me for 5 minutes.
Go for it.
Thanks. Thank you so much. So there's this little known Masechta out there. I know there's some people here, you know, they finished Shas, they've done their learning, they went to yeshiva, maybe we have some rabbis, fake rabbis here, who knows? But there's this little known Masechta out there, and I think it's very kedai that we just do a little blot, the Masechta for tonight. So this Masechta is called Masechet Social Media. Has anybody ever heard of this Masechta?
Is that right after?
We're holding on Daf Lamed Amud Beis, 3 lines from the top. So this Masechta, you should have already heard of it by now, but if you haven't, it's okay. I'll fill you in. Don't worry. Amar Rachel Rezel, Al Hakir HaTzibur. Now we know the Kir HaTzibur is the public wall. Right away, Rashi jumps in and says, oh, this was not a Choda'ah Prati, a private message, but rather it was written for all the Tzibur to see. Oh, so this is strange. So what does she say on the Kir HaTzibur? Amar Rachel Rezel, so I didn't feel like cooking tonight, and we ended up at Le Marais. Let's read it again in case somebody missed it. So I didn't feel like cooking tonight, and we ended up at Le Marais. Wow. So lechatchila, we can see that Rachel Rezel didn't feel like cooking tonight. So what's the lashon of so? Why does it start the Gemara with so? Oh, this is a very good question, right, guys?
Murdik.
The Rambam says the so comes to teach us that it's the lashon of mechaber, the lashon of connecting something from previous inyan into the end and where we are today. So what happened? What happened before so? So we learn out from the Tosfos HaKadosh, we learn out that day she was preparing lasagna. Lasagna, but it burnt. So she spent the whole day preparing it and forgot it in the oven while her kids were having a massive tantrum in the basement. Nebuch. So I didn't feel like cooking tonight, and we ended up at Le Marais. So what is this lashon of we ended up of Le Marais? How could it be? What is implied in this we ended up language? Answers the Ramban. She wanted to go to reserve cut that night. But her husband, Ari Lev, nixed it because it was too expensive. So this is what we learn from we ended up at Le Marais because her husband, Ari Lev, was mamish too frugal. This is fascinating stuff here, guys, right? This is 5 minutes, a little vort. We're going to be onward with the comedy, right, Zvi?
Absolutely.
We're going to move on very shortly. Now let us see how this all connects with a very famous parish here from very famous parish of the Maharal of Prague. It's going to tie in this whole thing nicely, and we're going to move on with the comedy. I promise you guys. Now let's read it from the beginning. So I didn't feel like cooking tonight, and then we ended up. Really comes to teach you only one thing, says the Maharal of Prague. One thing and only, one thing only. Even before all this, Rachel Rezel, she gave tzedakah, she davened, that this year, Aryeh Lev would finally remember her wedding anniversary. Oh. But what happened in years prior? He forgot. Again and again and again. So what did Rachel Rezel do? She preemptively made a lasagna, knowing very well that Aryeh Lev would indeed forget her wedding anniversary. Which he did. Nebuch. This is fascinating stuff here, guys, right? It's a simple word.
Beautiful.
So let's go to the next line. Amar Aryeh Lev Al Hakir Tzibur, which you already know is the public wall. Masechet social media we're holding, 3 lines from the top. What did he post? A picture. A picture. And what was this picture? Can you guess? It was flowers. And what did he write? Mamish, what did he write? On the picture, he wrote, I can't wait to bring these home to my wife for Shabbos. And what did Rachel Rezel comment on that picture? She commented, my mother is staying with us for Shabbos. Thank you very much.
Stop. I feel like someone should say Kaddish now that that's over. Gilad, you couldn't save this for the day before Pesach when all the Bechorim needed to hear your, Let's move right along. Mikey, you ready?
Yeah, can you see me, hear me, feel me? Woo! First two.
You're on. Go.
On. All right. I needed more of a stage and a microphone here. For those of you who don't know me, I'm a New York City comedian, currently based in his parents' attic in New Jersey. I feel pretty prepared for this one. I'm not gonna lie, guys. I've been performing for Empty Room since 2017, so this feels pretty good. All right, I'm gonna address the elephant in the world here. Coronavirus sounds way less cool than COVID-19, right? Like coronavirus is like, hi, I'm Corona. I'm an accountant. I'm an avid bird watcher, and I love doing crossword puzzles. But COVID-19, it's like, hey, I'm COVID-19. I'm an evil mastermind with a plot to take over the world, and I love doing crossword puzzles. Just comment on the YouTube comments. Just write land if you think that joke worked. Thank you. Coronavirus to me feels a lot like summer vacation did when I was a kid, except that I'm unemployed. I have a severe case of cabin fever, and thousands of people are dead. This pandemic has been freaking out a lot of my friends, rightfully so. And one of my friends recently called me and he's like, you know, Mikey, I feel so socially isolated and I don't know when my next paycheck is coming in. And there's just so much uncertainty about my future. And I'm just like, you know, you're just describing the life of every New York City comedian, right? Like that's a Wednesday for me. Like, I will say I was in the supermarket a couple days ago, which wouldn't recommend to anyone unless you really need something. That place will suck the soul out of you. But I was in the supermarket a couple days ago and I overheard this lady say, you know, this quarantine at my family's house is just the cleanse that I was looking for. And I'm thinking a couple things. One, you have to be so pretentious to say that. And then the other thing is this person could not have been Jewish, right? Like if you're a Jew quarantined at your house, did we freeze here?
No, we're good. We're good. Go.
Oh, that's what I also asked when I'm not performing over Zoom in front of a live audience. This would never come fine, actually.
Guys, unmute yourself, folks. He wants to hear laughter.
So I overheard this person in the supermarket. She's like, yeah, this quarantine at home is a perfect time for a cleanse. And I'm like, you can't be Jewish and say that statement. Like if you're a Jew at your family's house right now, there's no cleanse, there's just stress, right? Like there's just constant stress. I've been home for a week and already my mom's like, Mikey, you got to go out there. You got to get a job. And my dad's like, Mikey, you should really start getting back into the dating scene. You got to get out there. I'm like, guys, I know I had no excuse before, but I'm literally in quarantine. Like I cannot leave the house. A lot of people, they're treating this quarantine like a type of metamorphosis, you know? They're doing a lot of work on themselves. They're going in as an ugly caterpillar, but they're going to emerge from this pandemic as a beautiful butterfly. I'm just like, dude, I'm going to go in as a bear, hibernate and sleep, and then just wake me up when the pandemic's over, you know? I will say one thing about Corona. It's made me a lot more frum. It's made me a lot more religious. I'm not gonna lie. I do Nagelwasser 30 to 40 times a day now. I'm super strict about kashrut. I Lysol all of my utensils between each use. I don't know if you guys noticed, but I've been growing out this Sfirat beard in advance. I coincidentally also left my razor back in my New York City apartment. I still don't go to Minyan, but no one else does. So by default, I'm more frum. And I'm happy to say that I've been Shomer Nagia for days now. So I think that's pretty good too. I will say this downtime has given me some time to work on my shidduch resume. And I actually just posted it onto this really, really popular dating website among Jews. I don't know if you guys have heard of it. It's called LinkedIn. Super popular among Jews. And I'm not trying to brag here, but Cassie from Premium has been hitting me up. She's been messaging me. Although I feel like she's after my money, you know, like kind of gold digger situation. It is what it is. Right now, my profile strength, my shidduch profile strength is like at a 6. So the people that contact me are usually in like communication or in education, but occasionally I'll get a stud from like Goldman Sachs, something like that. So it's pretty nice. I've gone on a couple of these like LinkedIn meetup stuffs, but they always feel more like interviews and dates, you know? I saw this whole thing for a LinkedIn networking event, but I'm not really into that type of stuff, if you know what I mean. I work at this I don't know if I'll still work there. I worked at this toy store and I sold magic kits, a world famous toy store. So we got people from all over the world watching me demonstrate magic. And many of them have never seen a Jew before. So they just kind of think whatever I do, all Jews do. So I apologize to all our viewers in advance. But I do this one trick where I put a quarter in someone's hand and I tell them to close their hand. And when they open their hand up, there's 2 quarters. So if you're a Jew and you're ever traveling in a foreign land and some dude comes up to you and asks you to multiply their money, they're not being anti-Semitic. They've actually seen a Jew do it before. All right, that's all I got. Hope everyone's staying safe during the
Very good.
Selfie stick right over here. It's pretty nice, actually.
Very good. Hey, by the way, were you? Did you open for Jerry Seinfeld?
Jerry opened for me once upon a time before this pandemic.
Yes.
Before the pandemic, Jerry opened for me.
I was at your show. You were much funnier than Jerry. Much funnier.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, he does a lot of recycled bits these days.
Mikey Greenblatt, ladies and gentlemen, that was awesome.
Mikey, the FrumProv Facebook is getting requests for shidduch for you. So
yeah,
I did.
By the way,
that was fast.
Which brings up a question. Are there any women in the audience? Like, let us know in the comments. Like, usually we're used to just doing our stuff in front of men, but here it's kind of weird to have women over here, and a big reason why we don't have women in the audience typically is because of tznius, and some people get really, really like into the tznius, a little overboard. The other day, someone told me, "Tzvi, your wife is not tznius," and I was like, "What do you mean? Her sheitel covers her elbows and her knees." There's actually a vada tznius. I don't know if some of you might know this, but in Kiryas Yoel, some other places, they have people who these heroes, they save the entire Klal Yisrael from being nichshel by walking around the streets and checking out girls. So these heroes. Come on, guys. And you have these other people who they go through every video on the internet, and all they're doing is making sure that you receive fully tznius videos on Yeshiva World or on Matziv. Now with everyone in isolation, there's even more videos going around. But there's a committee. They're really, they work very, very hard, and we should give them a round of applause. On that note, I hate the mikvah lady. The truth is, she makes all of us men in the mikvah feel uncomfortable. I tell her, you're making me feel very uncomfortable, mommy. And she says, but who else is gonna help you put on the floaties? Talking about the mikvah, I'm a Lubavitcher. I go to mikvah, regularly, and now with all the mikvahs closed, I needed a solution. But luckily, here in Montreal, this isolation came at the exact perfect time, just when the snow is melting. There's a beautiful puddle in front of my house. I'm able to go every morning, and it helps because my neighbors are keeping their social distance. The puddle has started, the heat's coming, and the puddle has started, dissolving the water. So, I find that I'm worried about the 40 saw. So I spend my entire day now just filling the samovar, running out there, pouring more. So I have my 40 saw in the mikvah. And let me tell you something, this social isolation, this quarantine has made me more buff than ever. I'm working, I'm feeling great. And the truth is that this whole coronavirus really hit the Frum community hard. We really weren't ready because, the pandemic experts, they said, we thought it was so easy. They came up and they said, hey, okay, everyone, you got to wash your hands. And we were like, no. I've been way ahead. The truth is, I'm going to be honest. I don't go to mikvah this is because I knew all along. I was way in advance. I knew that this was coming. I haven't gone to the mikvah in 30 years. I haven't. Let me tell you, I've been davening b'yechidus. I've been davening alone for at least 12 years. Even Shabbos, Yom Kippur. I daven alone. I don't, it's and also I must say that I haven't given tzedakah since the mad cow disease scare. Okay, let's move right along. Yisrael Bernath. Yisrael Bernath is singing this entire show. Yisrael,
Look at that. I am really just enjoying the social element of this. This is great. I feel so trapped. And right now, well, I guess maybe not so trapped. Just kind of trying to find my my internet mojo. So I've been dreaming. I had a dream last night that my kids went back to school. And during that dream, there was this great moment where I was picturing this scene where the kids are getting up in the morning and they're putting on their backpacks and it's 7:30 in the morning and we're going to school and there's all this excitement and the shoes and the lunch and the seatbelt, and we get to school and my 3-year-old goes to her 3-year-old class to color. And then I head towards kindergarten. Now, in my kid's school in Montreal, in Beth Rivka, thanks to a post-Jewish war population explosion, there's actually 2 kindergartens, Kindergarten A and Kindergarten B. Now, of which the door on my kid's kindergarten class, I'm not joking, says KGB. And all it needs to say is office. And I go every day and I send my child to the KGB. Now, I understand that what's going on now with all this quarantine and no Minyan is reminding a lot of people of pre-war and issues of communism, which it absolutely has nothing to do with. But it is the fact that all the shuls are closed is something. Now, I understand that some of our grandparents were there, but do we have to constantly reenact our collective difficult history? I mean, do we have to be in therapy for generations? And I'm not going to even get started about the fact that we send our kids to camps. I hope. Did I lose you on that?
Oh man.
Comment like.
Am I being muted?
So, no, you're not being muted.
Okay, good.
So I get to the door of the classroom, and of course, my daughter says, in this dream of mine, Tati, can you write me a mitzvah note? Now, I've been thinking about this mitzvah note thing for quite a while. You know, they usually say, "Dear Moraz, Mushki was so nice to her little brother." Actually, I'm not joking. My 4-year-old is making me write mitzvah notes for her every day. When we go back to school, she's going to have this huge stack of mitzvah notes. And, you know, usually it's something like, you know, she was nice to her little brother. She didn't knock his eyes out. You know, what a great mitzvah. Or, you know, maybe it's a mitzvah of Avos Yisrael. But let's face it, half of the things that parents write on these mitzvah notes are not real mitzvahs. So I figured like this. Being the good Chabad shliach and chassid that I am, and the Rebbe instituted this idea of learning Sefer HaMitzvahs every day. A mitzvah a day as part of learning Rambam. So I figured not only would I write a proper mitzvah on my mitzvah note, but I would also take the opportunity to educate the moras and the kids of the mitzvah of the day. So I wrote like this: Dear moras, today Mushkala was not over on Lav 289, you shall not murder. Love Tati. The next day I write, Dear Moras, today Mushkala wasn't over on the 42nd prohibition. She did not put on any clothing with a mixture of wool and linen in them, as the idolatrous priests used to wear. And I even added a Dirabanan Lav, that since we were worried about her losing her memory, Mushkala also didn't put on 2 garments at the same time as she was getting dressed this morning. Since that would be kosher l'shitcha, and she may lose her memory as a result. Love, Tati. After a couple of days, the Mora asked me to please send normal mitzvah notes. So I say to the Mora, you're lucky that I don't send 3 chapters of Rambam a day. So let's talk about dinner, because we're all together, and let's just say I'm not usually home before dinner. I try to come home on a regular day during dinner, but now I'm home before dinner and during dinner and after dinner. Let's just say I'm home a lot. So my wife says, why don't you make dinner? So I'm thinking to myself, cholent.
Down for that.
Great meal. I mean, I can make it in the morning. It's filled with vitamins and nutrients that every child needs. And the best part about it is right after dinner, you just add a few more beans and potatoes and another package of meat, and shebang, you're going to have dinner for tomorrow. This is absolutely brilliant. Now, the 3rd day of the quarantine, when my kids started complaining about, let's say, the lack of variety, I decided to repurpose my cholent one more time. Cholent patties with parv sour cream. I'm telling you, you haven't had anything like this. Now, a pro tip for you tatis, don't make patties on the grill. They take up way too much time. Now, let's talk about bedtime. I don't do bedtime very often, but now that I'm home before bedtime and during bedtime and after bedtime, well, my wife is like, you should do some bedtimes. I mean, the whole point of this tonight was to get out of bedtime, right? So when my wife does bedtime, it's like organized with military precision. First, you're going to make your lunch, and then you're going to brush your teeth, and then you're going to prepare your negelwasser, and you're going to say Shema, and I don't want to hear a sound. And then there's the fighting and the screaming, and you know all that. Not with Tati. With Tati, you just press play on your favorite Jewish video. You come back 6 hours later, and the kids are exactly where you left them. No fuss, no screaming, totally fast asleep. You know what the best part about this whole thing? You don't have to worry about dressing them tomorrow.
That's good.
I'm Yisrael Bernath. That's my bit.
Yisrael Bernath, ladies and gentlemen, that was great. Let's read through a couple more comments. Don't let Eliyahu Navi in by your Seder. He's been to a lot of families. You might catch the virus. That's from Yankel Cohen. Thanks for giving us all that stress, Yankel. Anyone have a comment to respond to that?
Tzvi, do we have a number of people watching? Do we know?
295. Folks, spread the word. If you're having fun, spread the word. We have a whole bunch of lands. A bunch of people are watching live, which is nice. Someone would have liked to see Wuhan virus's shidduch resume, Eitan, but land. So, Mikey, if you're still here, send Eitan your shidduch resume.
I will.
Hold on, Tzvi, do we get a commission on the shidduch?
Ooh. Mikey?
Yeah, commission for everyone.
Commission for everyone. We have some people who admitted that they were women, and Mordechai Schmutter, who is one of my heroes, he is a writer in Hamodia magazine. He writes, "Am I a woman?" Mordechai, we will never know because Hamodia does not print any women. Some Life Pearl.
Ashley Blaker, the great Ashley Blaker, just left a message and said, "Enjoy the show." That was it.
He's in London, so it's probably 4 o'clock in the morning there, which is really nice that he watched. So that's cool. Life Pearl apparently knows me and you, Yisrael, last mikvah you went to was the mikvah in Morristown with the burst pipe. Oh, that brings memories. And finally, the last one is that we'll read now. Schmaltz News. He's got the best mitzvah note. He tells his teacher that I tell the teacher that my kids do the chukim like mishpatim and the mishpatim like chukim. See, lekutei siches. Yeah, I don't know which came.
Oh, that's good.
There it is.
All right, AY is not here. He wasn't able to make it, so we're gonna move right along to our next Ellie Leibowitz. Where are you?
Woo!
I'm here.
Ellie Leibowitz.
Ellie Leibowitz, ladies and gentlemen, a professional comedian, travels all around. Go check out his website, elliecomedy.com, and hire him. He's available. He'll send you a shit-up resume.
Thanks. My wife would object. Thank you. Thanks guys for being here. It's funny because this actually makes me feel good because I always thought my material was too frum, but you guys have blown me out of the water with your frumness. So, and the good thing is that even if you're not laughing, like I've been doing some of these this week and it's so tricky to know if people are laughing. So I'm just going to keep talking. And, yeah, that's how I made a career.
Amen.
That's a boss move.
I did the, sorry for Chabad guys. I know you're supposed to say a bracha out loud and then I have 99 more to go today. Yeah, it's like, you know, you're in a frum environment when there's like a shir, when you hear like the rabbis say the bracha over the recording and you hear all like 100 seminary girls go, amen, all at once. So this is growing great. I have to apologize if I cough. I don't think you'll catch anything from Zoom, but but it's very possible. I have it, no big deal. The fact that I can't smell. My wife's like, I know, you should shower. But too soon. Okay. By the way, I have to give credit to teachers, by the way, for the fact that it took us like 40 minutes to figure out Zoom, and teachers in a minute or like 2 days, they were just like, all right, everything you do right now, you're going to put online, just pretending like it's the same thing. And every teacher was like, sure, that's fine. And it's more so impressive because the teachers I had growing up would not have been able to do that. They couldn't even figure out like the video cart with the video, like putting it when we were watching a movie, you're like, oh, this is going to be a 45-minute video, but it's going to take them 2 hours to realize how to put it on HDMI or AUX or whatever. Yeah, no, so this is why it's an open mic. And I do perform at a lot of Jewish events back when we used to see people in person. And I'll contact shuls asking if they want to have a comedy night, and they'll always give me responses of like previous terrible comedy nights they had. You know, they'll be like, well, we had a comedian in 1985 and he swore the whole time and it was the worst Tisha B'Av event we ever had. And we're not doing that anymore. By the way, I don't see 295 people watching this is pretty incredible considering they have the entire internet that they could be watching other than this. So that's pretty impressive that they can watch. I'm just going to throw out jokes that I wrote down here because that's what this is for, right? I feel like the guilt that we get in our generation, we get a lot of guilt for buying a German car. And I wonder if there was always the same guilt for other things, other groups that persecuted us throughout history. Like, did people go up to where people like, ugh, you're eating a Greek salad on Hanukkah? Wearing Egyptian cotton on Pesach? You're using Roman numerals on Tisha B'Av? Graceful. Just horrible. Thank you. See, that's fine. I appreciate it. But guys, I didn't get validation as a kid. It's fine. I'm all right. But also, it's really tricky. Excuse me. The symptoms of having this is just like, it's the Jewish hypochondriac's worst nightmare. It's like symptoms are cough, achiness, sore throat, anxiety, stress, baldness, worry about Pesach, everything. Like, you're just like, I think I have it automatically, no matter what. And you know, they're saying to practice social distancing. So everybody that's, you know, like us that went to like non-co-ed school growing up is like, I totally know how to do that. That's not a problem at all. And Israel keeps releasing new restrictions every day. They're keeping new laws, new things every time. And I can't imagine people in Israel like wanting to, they're Israelis, so why are they going to listen to anything? Let alone Israel's probably, people in Israel are like, you're the same country that took 3 tries to get an election right? I don't think I don't think you have a say in this. But I realized I was thinking about being Jewish and interacting with the regular outside world. I think the best time to start a job has got to be June, right after Shavuos, because you have 3 months of being kind of normal, and you start you have your final interview, and at the end of the thing they say, all right, anything else we should know about? And you're like, nope. But in your head, you're like, in September, I'm insane. And because it's true, because, especially if you have to take work off after, like Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur are name brand holidays, people know those. But but after Yom Kippur, it's really tough. You have Sukkot, Shmini Atzeres, Simchas Torah, they're pretty tenuous. So all of a sudden, you got to tell the manager, I'm going to need 2 days off next week. That's fine. You'll just make up the time the week after. I'm going to need another 2 days after that too. But don't worry, there's no holidays for like 6 months, but I will need to leave by 2 on Fridays. So, but don't worry, I'm just assuming you guys are laughing. I might as well try this anyway, and if people like it, great. If they don't, back to the drawing board. I have a lot of time to be writing, I guess. I realized that one of the biggest adjustments of marriage is that I feel like a lot of wives will speak to their husbands almost in code. Like they can tell you an entire sentence, but for some reason they'll cut off part of the end of the sentence. I'm going to lose all the women audience members that we just had, but they could tell you the entire message, but for some reason they only want to tell you part of it to see if you could figure out the rest. It's kind of like learning Gemara. Instead of like saying, my wife will just text me and be like, we're out of milk. Now I have to decipher, does she want coffee? Does she want cereal? Does she want a cow? I don't know. And it's like a short message. See if you could figure out the rest. It's like the world's worst scavenger hunt, and the prize you get to find out what your wife meant. And you're like reading this message, you're like, we're out of milk. And you're like, is there a Rashi on this? And that's why some communities are very opposed to women learning Gemara, because they're just like, they're already good at this. They don't need to get better at it. And that's why also some communities make guys go to yeshiva before they get married, and they say, listen, you got to get better at your skills or else you're not going to be able to handle marriage. And that's back to the drawing board, guys. What else? Every email that you're getting from every company, it's really appreciated, especially like Foot Locker. Thank you for telling me how you're handling the virus. It's great. It's probably your fault in the first place. And, by the way, also in comedy, that's what happened. In comedy, people ask you to do things. They try to. It's the only like real, not the only one, but probably also in the rabbinate. Rabbi Yisrael probably knows that people just like ask you to do. Can you do what you do for free? And just we're having a party. You're having music, food, dancing, whatever. And like we want you to do comedy for free. Like we're gonna pay everybody else, but not you, because it's not a thing. So it's just funny because they try to tell you, oh, we want to, like, this day and age, you got to be more careful because everyone tries to it'll be great exposure for you. I'm like, that's not a good word to use right now. No, your name will get spread around. We'll make you go viral. No, you're not. So everyone's talking about, the world's pretty upside down right now. This is the kind of craziest thing I've ever seen. And I saw the Cubs winning the World Series. So I thought this is nuts. Like, but I think the hardest part about this, Mashiach, if Mashiach is coming right now, if this is what, sorry, Chabad guys, but if Mashiach is coming right now, the hardest part is going to be a bunch of people being like, I knew it. And you're like, oh God, you're the worst. Like, and also, it's very hard for me to imagine Mashiach coming. Like, it's very hard for me to picture it because I can't imagine a bunch of Jews going on a flight for 12 hours and not fighting. Like, it's going to be, that one's too real. But I realized that the reason Mashiach has I think a lot of people think that like the Jews have to get rid of our hatred of each other and sinas chinam before Mashiach can come, is because if we're all going together to the Beis Hamikdash, let's say for the Korban Pesach and hanging out, it's going to be the worst Seder ever if everyone still hates each other. Like if we're just sitting there and be like, oh my God, that Hasidish guy's there. Ugh, they're next to the conservative people. And God's going to be like, get out of here. This is so stupid. Go home. And that was a little musser. That wasn't even a joke there. What else here? So I went to YU, hence my, I don't know, lack of beard. I don't know, my lack of beard. I don't know. I went to YU. YU's basketball team was doing really well until this thing hit. They were doing amazing. They made the Sweet 16 in college basketball, probably because nobody wanted to follow them or play defense. But they were their motto. YU's motto is actually the phrase "Nowhere but here," which, if there was a time to ever change that motto, it's right now. You know, YU, a lot of people in YU has this thing called a Svarim sale where they basically pretend to sell books for about 3 weeks, but it's really just a weird inadvertent way for guys and girls to meet each other. You think I'm joking, but it's pretty true. Rihanna actually wrote a song several years ago called "We Found Love in a Hopeless Place." That was written about the YU farm sale. You guys would love that if you went to YU. But what else? Also, yeah, I feel like, by the way, this whole like experience is changing the way we watch movies and we watch TV. I know you guys don't do that, but the way we like, you know, those of you that do, you know, we and my wife were watching a horror movie the other day, and all of a sudden, like, you know, we were just yelling at the screen, "Don't touch the elevator button!" Like, you know, you're still on edge. All right, that one worked for Twitter. Also this whole experience has really made everyone evaluate what they take seriously and what they value in their lives and what they really think is important to them. Because like 2 months ago, if we all were probably like, oh man, I really wish I got to spend more time with my kids, and everyone's just like, hey. Most comedy clubs require a 2-drink minimum, but that's not given already right now. And I'll say some stories. I learned a little Tanakh. I know you guys, Crown Heights, not really, but you know what I mean. But basically, there's some stories in Tanakh. I like to think of what happens behind the scenes of some of these famous stories. And we don't know the whole story. We just know what the Torah tells us. But I'm sure there's like a behind the scenes picture of what's going on. Like there's a story of like when Yaakov is running away from Lavan, his father-in-law. He's still running away from his brother Esav. He's trying to kill him. And it says that, you know, he flees in the middle of the night from his father-in-law Lavan. And I bet he wakes his eldest son Reuven up. And he's like, all right, wake up. And Reuven's like, what's going on? Yaakov's like, we're leaving. We're getting out of here. And Reuven's like, why are we running away from Grandpa's house? And Yaakov's like, because he's a jerk, okay? And Reuven's like, well, why again are we running away from Uncle Esav? I told you, he's trying to kill me over the soup thing. And Reuven's just like, is everyone's family this weird? Yes. Happy Thanksgiving. Okay. Like, but also even we, you know, very pertinent coming up with the story of Yetzias Mitzrayim and you know, the Makos. It says that before the first plague of blood, it says in the Medrash, it says that Paro would go to the riverbank, the bank of the Nile River, early in the morning because he wanted everyone in Egypt to think he was a god. So he would all go into the bathroom early in the morning once a day before anyone could see. And first of all, going to the bathroom only once a day, extremely impressive. But it says that Moses goes to Paro at the bank of the Nile River and says, Paro, because you've been stubborn and not let the Jewish people go, God has turned all the waters of Egypt into blood. You think Paro like pulls up his pants and he's like, so you're saying I don't need to see a urologist? Because that is incredible news. That's a great joke, and I don't really care if you guys laughed. But also, there's some things that are just like challenging that like unnecessarily. Like you realize how hard Judaism is that just by these last few weeks. You know, you have Bedikas Chametz, like the idea of Bedikas Chametz that, yeah, you're supposed to scatter 10 pieces of bread around your house in case you didn't find any chametz somehow. I don't know about you, but I have about 200 Cheerios on each sofa cushion right now. I don't know, like, oh wow, you only found 10 pieces. That's it. That's amazing. You know what? That's enough for me. This year, 10 pieces of bread is going to be fine. I was driving with my friend, gave me a ride the other day, and he was driving, not the other day, sorry, back when we saw people in public, a couple weeks ago, and he drove and he cut off like 20 cars. And I told him, and he said, take your yarmulke off for this. And I said, you're driving a Honda Odyssey. There might as well be a mezuzah on the car. This is practically the mitzvah tank, okay? Like, you know, and so I'm very proud of my Judaism. I am very proud, but there are times you want to downplay your Judaism, like when you're flying on Sukkot with your lulav and esrog. You know, those are that's a palm tree and a lemon. You know, things that you bring to the airport. When you're at the excuse me, when you're at the airport, you can't really bring. You can't leave your bags unattended. So you got to bring everything you can to the bathroom with you, which feels wrong with the lulav and esrog. But like, it's even weirder when people like in the urinal are just like, what's going on? You're like, oh, you've never seen a guy go to the bathroom with a tree before? What's wrong with you? Okay. And, you know, thank you. So now, you know, now you got to walk through airport security holding this giant thing. You're like, is anyone going to know I'm Jewish? All right, great. That's better. No one will know now. And, you know, the woman in American Airlines, she says to me, what is that? And I'm like, it's like a religious tree. I don't know. And she says, do you plant it? And I'm like, no, you idiot. You shake it. Duh. And here's one that's really obscure that's not going to work in any other room. You know this thing that you say when you lose a lost object, Rabbi Meir Baal Hanes, you say this thing to find lost objects. You say in the merit of Rabbi Meir Baal Hanes, I'll find this object. Never works. Actually, I found the remote recently, so it actually worked pretty well, which feels a little bit like a Frum inconsistency. It's like, you know what I mean? Like, it's like yelling at your wife for not covering the challah, but you're not wearing pants, which is very appropriate right these days. So Rabbi Meir Baal Hanes is this thing that you say in his merit that you should find your lost object. But we always think that Rabbi Meir Baal Hanes was great at you'll find it in his merit. But I'm wondering, what if Rabbi Meir Baal Hanes just found other people's lost objects and he was just an amazing hoarder? And his house was like the room of requirement in Harry Potter, where he's just like, he comes home and he just says, honey, do you know what I found today? And she says, if it's 5 single socks, we're getting a divorce. Okay. Like, I am done. I think I'll leave with that here. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your patience, everybody. Stay safe, stay sane. Don't go outside.
Ellie Leibowitz, ladies and gentlemen. Woo! Ellie, you think Rabbi Meir Baal Hanes' wife, when she needed something found, just turned to him and said, "Hey, here's $1."
I like that. Or I'm hoping Rabbi Meir Baal Hanes doesn't like punish me and be like, all right, now you're not gonna find anything for the rest of your life.
Rabbi Meir Baal Hanes curse.
Well, also, I always think, when I think of some of my best jokes during Shemona Esrei, and I always worry that if I think of jokes during Shemona Esrei, God's, you know, we always learn God is Mida connected Mida. So I always think that, like, you know, next time I'm on stage, God's going to make me think of Shemona Esrei. But anyways, thanks for having me. Thank you guys.
Good job. Amen. Okay, that fell flat too. This is a tough crowd. You know, it's a tougher crowd because, like, I see some of you guys are still muted. You're making it harder on the people. And for those watching, please enjoy alcohol in the comfort of your home. Our next, let's move on. Our next, we only have 3 more to go. I have my list over here. The next one is a shliach from Notre Dame de Grace, Quebec, Rabbi Tzvi Hershkowitz. Woo!
Woo! Left. No.
Hello, everyone. My name is Rabbi Tzvi Hershkowitz, and I am a cocaine and heroin addict. All right, now let's get this bris started. No, just a little joke to lighten things up, but am I in the wrong? I think I'm in the wrong Zoom meeting. I'm sorry, everyone, and I have a bris right after this Zoom meeting, so I want to wish everyone a good Shabbos, happy Saturday. Welcome. I'm forced to do this sermon, my weekly sermon, in the 18 minutes before Shabbos because I was going door to door to deliver the sermon individually to every member of my community. And when I got to Harvey Weinstein's door, that's a bad name to use. Sorry about that, folks. When I got to Harvey Greenstein's door, he advised me that I should, instead of going door to door, I should go by Zoom. He told me this right after I handed him this handmade shmura matzah that my wife and I had put our blood and sweat into it to make it with our fingers. Because the matzah bakery was closed, we couldn't get it shipped to our Chabad house. So I was so grateful for his advice that I gave him a giant hug. And I kissed him on both cheeks, like we do here in Quebec. I want to publicly give a shout out to Jason Stein, who was he came over to set up the Zoom on my laptop. He told me to leave it outside for him to set it up, and then I was pushed in middle of taking the skin off the chicken. When my daughter Mushkele shouted, "Hey, Jason's here!" I ran outside. I got so excited I couldn't help myself. I ran outside and shook his hands. He was he seemed a little nervous. He left quickly, but I think it was to take in Shabbos early. So yeah, Shane, yeah. So welcome to the Moshe Getzel and Christina Silverstein Chabad House. Welcome. Where every Jew is a diamond, including Seymour Myhill, who comes every week at Aleinu and eats all the herring at Kiddush. We would also like to welcome into our Zoom meeting the biggest diamond of all, which is sitting right on the neck of Mr. Silverstein. Hello. What? Mushkele, not. I'm in the middle of a meeting. Please go. Why don't you go? You ask mommy. Mommy will give you a lollipop. Okay. That was an educational moment for all of you. How you treat your daughter when she comes over. When your daughter comes and asks you for she tries interrupting you. You have to be wise and you send her to her mother. Let's get to my Dvar Torah and my Bible word. This week's Dvar Torah is brought to you by The Man Who Bought My Soul, a new film from Sheldon Silverstein. So this week's parsha, this week's Torah portion, this week's Bible portion is called Vayikra, and he called the effervescent vessels of the Tetragrammaton is the Rebbe Melech HaMashiach Tzadik Livracha says that Mushkele, don't pull on my pants. I'm not wearing a belt. Okay, what? You want me to hold your hand to the bathroom? Okay. Mushkele, if you go now to mommy, I'm gonna give you 1,000,000 lollipops. Okay, go. Okay. I'm sorry. That was another educational moment. It's always teaching my community. I just want to make mention that normally on a typical Shabbos we have a kids program, but Sterny, you didn't make a kids program this week on Zoom. Anyway, so I wanted to talk. I forgot where I was going. I'm going to talk a little bit about something very dear to my heart. A little bit about. Most of you may know, you may have heard that we're not really funded by a central Chabad organization or Lahavdil Elef to separate 1,000 end of Shabbos rituals generation. We're not funded by them. So we're supported by every single individuals, just like you. Even you, Seymour. Even you, Seymour. And you know, you can tell that we could use a bit of, you know, even your $18 we could help us if you've seen my email signature and how all my texts end off. If you heard my voicemail, if you saw the state of my minivan. What? Mushkele, geh weg von dort. Okay, als ich das nicht gehen, ich werde halt geben 100 patches, gay! That was Yiddish. For those who didn't understand Yiddish, that's an educational moment for our. I was telling her we have an app on my phone. Open it and swipe. You can swipe through the app and yeah. So where was I? You know what? I want to make mention of the Simon family that was they were supposed to come. The Vale and Simon families were supposed to be at my Shabbos table this week. I invited them 2 months ago and they canceled. And I want to say my home is open to welcome everyone. You'll be welcomed with a giant hug. And yeah, so Al Kaponim over all the faces. I want to share with you a beautiful story. This morning, I went to, my wife sent me out to go buy some rat poison and a plunger. And so I went to pay and for some reason, I don't know why, my credit card wasn't working. I tried the Chabad House credit card, but for some, I don't know, this was all, wait for the pintele, the kunz, the point is coming and all of a sudden, who do I bump into but the lovely Mrs. Silverstein, Ashkacha Pratis with divine provinces. She's right there in the store and she sees the predicament I was in and she immediately turned to the cashier and she said, put it on my bill. As you could imagine, I immediately turned around and bought $5,000 worth of groceries, which lasted for 3 days worth of my kids to finish. I also went and bought 1,000 rolls of toilet paper. You know, it's my kids have been since then cutting them for Shabbos into individual plies. Trying to save a little bit and yeah. Okay, a couple of announcements I want to make. With the Zoom shir this week, there's a Zoom shir on resurrection. It'll be given by my Zaidi Olav Shalom on Tuesday night. On Wednesday night, I'm giving a class on Zoom. It's going to be called Musar for Losers. So please join along. I look forward to seeing you. The Rebbitzin had a Zoom class that she was supposed to give on the power of femininity in Judaism, feminism in Judaism. But it was canceled to make way because I'm doing Zoom right at that time. I'm teaching a Gemara shir to men only. And yeah, mushkala. Okay. One second. What are you doing? Are you running a kids program or a Lashon Hara group? That was an educational moment. And if you heard anything, it was probably your computer had some noise in the background. My neighbor, I have a very anti-Semitic neighbor. Anyway, I want to wish some mazel tov. I want to wish a mazel tov to the Schnorgelovich family for their dog Brutus's bar mitzvah, who would celebrate it in shul. But unfortunately, we're stuck at home. We're going to be, the truth is we haven't seen Brutus in shul since his pup sharnish. And we hope that it doesn't work out like his Bark Mila went. Blee neuter. What are you doing back? Okay, 1 minute. You know what? Ich kann it. Rabbi Hershkowitz, ladies and gentlemen, Rabbi Hershkowitz on the beautiful Dvar Torah by Yaakov. All right, next up will be our second to last comic, Levi Goldstein from Montreal. Go, you're on.
Maybe.
Levi?
الرحمن الرحيم سيدات والسادة شكرا لحضوركم أنا كتير مجنون يعني مشاهدة بعالم وسط الدقيقة جبلية وعسكرية. Okay. Oh, guys, what are we doing here? You know, this is serious times. You know, we're here saying jokes. Yeah, jokes. What is this? Get out. Okay. Now that I got, you want a joke? Here's a joke. So a guy goes up to Shamayim. This big Lamdan, he goes up to Shamayim. And he's waiting for his Gan Eden. He's like, where's my Gan Eden? Here we go. And all of a sudden, he's put into a dark room. He doesn't see anything. He's like, what's going on? Where's my Gan Eden? And all of a sudden, he feels boiling water being splashed on his face. He's like, what is this? Oh, where's my Gan Eden? And oh, there are more. He's like, what's going on? All of a sudden, he hears a voice and he says, Klisheni is not mevashel, huh? Anyway. So, we would like to welcome the comedian Shluchim from FrumProv. So tonight I want to talk about a little bit about my kids. You know, different ways I deal with them. You know, my kids, you know, I try to reverse psychology on them. You know, when they're like, you know, okay, you know, Mendel. Yes, my kid's name is Mendel. Okay, fine. Mendel, time to go into the bed. Oh man, I don't want to go. So you know what I do? I play the same game. I say, oh, you never want to take a bath. Whenever I ask you, you're never allowed it. And he looks at me like, what? And then Manas is in the corner. By doing this, you are ruining the psyche of the child. Not only are you taking away the role of the father, you are taking upon yourself the role of the kid. You know, if I see kids at a wedding, especially at a, you know, Polish kids at a wedding, it's awesome. You see them, they're like, there's the band is playing, you know, and the kids, they just stand there and they walk past the band. They look at the band, and then they walk away, and then they do another walk. And the Hasidic kid, he's walking, he's looking at the band, he looks at them head to toe. And then he's like, then I continue walking. And the drummer's like, oh, and he's working hard, you know, oh, here comes the kid. Oh, here it comes again. Oh, he's gonna do it. Oh my gosh. And then you have the little kids in shul. You know, there's different types of cries kids have. You know, there's the cry where, you know, you get hurt, you know, you kvetch, that's one cry. But then there's the cry when you get hurt, you know? And it gets hurt, you know, in shul, and it's like, ah. And then there's the whine, you know, the winding up for the major part of the cry. It's like, and those 3 to 4 seconds, God specifically made it that way to give the father that time, that precious time, to grab the kid and run out with him before it blows up. Okay, I'm gonna do some imitations. Let's see. I never did this before, but let's see if this is gonna work. My kids watch Ichikaduzi, you know? So the rabbi, let's see if I could pull this off. Hi, everybody. Jono wanted that not we should. Last time I forgot my gefilte fish in the parking lot, and therefore. Also, these days we have what do you call it? The guy, I don't know. You guys know the guy in charge of Atzivas Hashem. You know, hold on. Let me get my costume on for him. Chayolim, we are gathered today for every chayil for the Rebbe. In that is very special way for the chayolim. You know, when my kids are watching, my stomach hurts. You know, it's like, you know, does he come home, you know, from Shachris? Does he talk to her? Honey, what's for breakfast today? Whatever, get yourself some cereal and milk. Whatever happened to eggs and a coffee the way the Rebbe wants it? You know, and I play this character. I use this character for my kids. Like, you know, it's time to go to bed. Take off your clothing and put it in the hamper. Say after me, the clothing go in the dirty hamper. And they love it. It works. Oh, and it all started like way back when it started, you know, with the kids rally with Rabbi J.J. Hecht. The Pasek Bechal Davada will be decided by Bushkin from Northern California. And then when he started, this video has been going around lately a lot. I know it's very funny when Rabbi Hecht introduces the song for the Rebbe, Hashem is here, Hashem is there. No, not we want Mashiach now. Am Yisrael, have no fear. Mashiach will be here this year. Old MacDonald, do you imagine singing? Old MacDonald had a farm. And on the farm, he had a cow. Okay. But, you know, I'm screaming my tenant upstairs. It's pretty bad. Anyways, okay, I hope I'm not waking them up. So my kids listen to different you know, tapes, CDs. They listen to Shmuel Kunda. You know, we all grow up with Shmuel Kunda, you know, the magical yarmulke. Of course, it's time for a test. Yeah, I have a suggestion. Please stay in your seats while I'm asking the question. And don't go ooh and like you have in the digestion. My kids also listen to Rabbi Bernstein. Rabbi Bernstein gives the tapes, you know, and Kinelach, the pirates threw the Jew and his family into the dungeon. And the Jew said, oh no, what am I gonna do? And the pirate said, exactly, you are screwed. Oh boy. Yeah, but I listen to oh my gosh, my battery's running low. Get out. I listen to Avram Fried, you know. Avram Fried gets up there, you know, and he goes like this. Oh no, my stage. Hold on a second. Avram Fried goes, ha, Baruch Hashem, thank you. Okay. Refaweni Hashem, כי נבהלנו הצומוי, אוי ונפשי נבהלה מאין. And Yossi Green is behind him. And Humphrey's like, oh shoot. Daddy, nine. Oh, everybody sing together. A.B. Rottenberg. Everything is very serious with A.B. You know, he'd be like on his key on the piano. Some people wonder, others may say, whenever adversity follows the way, let me run, let me hide. Oh, I must close my eyes. It just might go away. Matis Yahoo! Oh, could I? Oh no, is this like too sensitive or?
Do it.
Okay. Oi, 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 oi. Oi, 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 oi. Oi, 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 oi. Oi, ribidi oi. Chop them down, chop them all around town. Chop them high, chop them low, chop them wherever you go. Ribio! But whatever happened to the good old, real, undigitized, unfiltered, toothless Lubavitch Nigunim? You know? Hechel Nagina, the heavy stuff with the narrator. Then Nigun is a packet, a packet. The rest is not komt erin en dat pikt is not in dat woordje in Golobokke. Wat niet pakket, ik ben on the rebbe barash, had ik packet, ik packet. And then comes the Nigun. Ashrei Yisrael. Ashrei Yisrael. And his dentures, boom, fly out. Ashrei Yisrael. And the choir goes, Hashem, Bachem, Bachem, Mehichem, Toiro, Matana. Oh my gosh, I'll do an imitation of, well, Manes I did already, so I have this video, the Manes versus Jacobson, YY Jacobson. So I got a new thing with Jacobson, a new imitation of Jacobson, and Jacobson's like this. I gotta release the camera for the full force. So Jacobson's like this. He's like, we have to treat every Yid with respect and love and kindness and compassion. Who are we? Get out. Why don't you treat every Jew with compassion? Who are you not to treat every Jew with love? My job here is done. Wait. Then they asked Rabbi Shem Tov, Rabbi Yisrael Shem Tov, you know, about the current situation.
I don't know what you're talking about. Well, I'm here, business as usual. The same amount of people come into my store, and I don't notice any different whatsoever. And if you need a kapota, don't bother me, because I'm in my store and I'm working.
Okay, guys, I'm going to end with this. I'm going to end with Chazal, a quote from Chazal, and it goes like this. Moshetet, Mo'elem, Motot HaKatar, hey, Yam Yisrael, have no fear, Mashiach will be here this year, Yam Yisrael. Hello, thank you.
Woo, that was amazing. Wow, Levi Goldstein. You could unmute. That was phenomenal. For those of you who couldn't see, I was looking at on our Zoom screen, you could see all the viewers. I hope Levi was looking at Zoom, not YouTube. We were dying over here. That was phenomenal. Phenomenal, Levi. Phenomenal.
Zvi,
Yeah.
you got about 245 viewers right now who've been watching steadily this whole time. Maybe you could ask them to comment where they're from. It'd be interesting to know where everybody's from, watching from out there in the world.
Well, it's really my mom using 248.
Maybe they want an encore. They want an encore from you. One more.
Yeah, you have a request for MBD.
I'm taking a request. Take a request. Give me.
You have MBD
I'll try.
request.
I'll see if I can do it.
We just have to, I feel like I have to mute myself when Levi goes, because just otherwise it'll just be on me laughing all the time. So Levi, don't mind that you don't hear the laughter. Go for it. MBD.
MBD? Oh my gosh. I thought this was a joke. Okay. MBD, my imitation of MBD is like this. It goes like this. Hold on a second. Marbe bosor, marbe rimo, marbe nechosi, marbe dogo, marbe noshi, marbe cheshofi, marbe shbachois, marbe zimo.
Woo!
Got a few other, but you know,
awesome.
you gotta
You got a request for Uncle Moishi.
Uncle Moishi? Who requested? I want to know who requested Uncle Moishi. He's a lovable guy. You know?
TVK
He's like,
requesting Uncle Moishi.
Who?
We're gonna have to leave some stuff for Levi for next time.
Yeah.
Wants Uncle Moishi.
Go easy on me, okay?
Hold on, Levi, you want to do it or you want to save it for next time?
No. We'll save it. We'll save it.
All right. Mendel Engel says hi. Hi, Mendel Engel. Mordechai Schmutter says that he is from my mom's house. Here on this chat, the kosher rated G chat. Zalman Lerman is in Atlanta. Yankel Cohen is in Crown Heights. Dare 2770 is either with Donald Trump or he is requesting Donald Trump. We have someone from Brazil, from Toronto. Whoever's in Bnei Brak, it's probably 3 in the morning over there. Explain how you're still awake. Someone wants you to do an imitation of me. I noticed before, by the way, that some people were suggesting different Frum comedians or people who want to try Frum comedy. I noticed, so please tell them to reach out. They could reach out to me through Chon Face, or they could reach out through FrumProv. If you want to try out on one of these, I think this is a success. We'll probably do this again next week. And I'm looking for people who to perform. But let's move on to our final performer. He is all the way from Vancouver, Yisrael Shurak. Go ahead, Yisrael. The floor is all yours. Should we leave ourselves unmuted or muted?
Can you hear me?
Can hear you.
Okay, then I'm unmuted.
No, us. Should we be unmuted?
Yeah, sure. This way I can hear your laughs. Why not?
Unmuted.
I want to start off with the Devar Torah. One of my favorite teachings is from Rabbi Simcha B'Yudam Pesicha. What does he say? Every person should walk around with 2 pieces of paper, 1 in each pocket at all times. The paper in your right pocket should say, "The whole world was created for me." And the paper in the left pocket should say, "I am nothing but dust and ashes of the earth." And then we wonder why so many Jews are walking around questioning their identity, dazed and confused. Speaking of which, dazed and confused, about a week ago, I fell down a flight of steps. Thank you for your concern. Thank you. That's right. So I actually have a concussion. And one of the side effects of having a concussion is having a headache all the time. So I was complaining to my wife. I said, "Eti, now I have a headache all the time. It's really difficult." She smiled and said, "Yisrael, now you know what it's like for me to be married to you." Being in isolation, my wife is frustrated with how much I interrupt her. So recently, she was really surprised when she sees I'm not only listening, but taking notes. She said, Yisrael, I'm so glad that you're finally taking what I have to say so seriously. I said, Eti, I'm so glad I have so much great material for my routine. About a month ago, my mother came for a visit. She said to my wife, my son is amazing. He cooks, he cleans, he has a good job. He's fantastic. My wife looked at me and said, Yisrael, you never told me you had a brother. But after 15 years of marriage, I had figured out some key phrases that I can use so that my wife knows that I'm actively listening. Because women don't want solutions, they want to be heard. So I can say something like, that sounds frustrating. Or, I have to think about that. I have to be careful though, because recently I completely zoned out, and apparently that sounds frustrating is not the right answer to my car won't start, I'm stuck on the highway. It was recently my wife's birthday, and I wanted to get her the perfect gift, but that's hard as a husband. So I asked my friend for some advice. He said, why don't you donate money to a charity in your wife's name? So on the one hand, that sounds really sweet and really kind. But on the other hand, that's kind of like saying, happy birthday, I got someone else a gift instead of you. My wife has a special talent where she'll tell me that I should do what I want and then make me feel like a really bad person if I do it. So a few weeks ago, after dinner, I said, I'm gonna go play golf with my friend Mike. My wife said, you should definitely go, have fun if you want to. I said, do we have plans tonight? Should I stay home? No, you should go out and spend quality time with your friend if that's what you choose to do. So I stayed home and folded laundry. You know, there's regular guilt and there's Jewish guilt. Jewish guilt, it's thick, it's palpable. You can taste it. It's also passed down from generation to generation, from mother to daughter in a very serious religious ceremony. It's called birth. I'm going to change topics now because my wife just sent me a text. She's downstairs listening. You know, there's a fine line between comic relief and sleeping on the couch. Cross that line. Plus, I love my family. I've got 4 kids. Oh, thank you. You know, in Vancouver, that's a big deal. But in the Frum community, that's like a bit of like I'm just starting, right? Last summer, we decided to go on a family vacation. The 6 of us, we decided we would drive from Vancouver to New York. We've made a stop off in Montreal at Rabbi Goldstein's house. You know how long it takes to drive from Vancouver to New York? 55 hours. Yeah. See, I always thought I was a man of great patience, but it turns out by hour 30, yeah, not so much. Now, we saw a lot of beautiful scenery along our trip. There was one view in particular that I wasn't very impressed with because the grass wasn't very green and there was a lot of dead trees, but there was a lake. And my wife said, any view that has water is beautiful. So a few days ago, I realized I didn't make the bed and I left some of my clothes on the floor. So I knew I was going to be in trouble. But out of the corner of my eye, I see a cup of water on the nightstand. And I knew my wife would think it was perfect. You know, on our road trip, on vacation, we saw a lot of people traveling without kids. Now, I like to call those people civilians. Now, civilians, they do the most amazing thing when they get to their destination. Maybe you've seen it. They park their car, they get out of their car, and then they just go. Laughing, smiling and laughing. But for those of us with kids, it's not that simple. See, first my kids have to find their shoes, but they can't because the van is so big. And then my 4-year-old was crying inconsolably. Why? Because his older brother told him that he was precious. Now I find myself, I'm disciplining my older son for calling his brother precious. Did you call your brother precious, huh? Is that nice or not nice? And I could see he's like a little bit confused by the line of questioning. Well, I thought it was nice. All right, and now you want to talk back to me. I said, you know what? I don't want to hear the word precious for the rest of the trip. Kids are really smart, though. They make fun of us, and we don't even know it. Just look at your kids' favorite toys. Play kitchen, pretend lawnmower, make-believe vacuum. Come home from work, I asked my 4-year-old, how was your day? He's like, well, I made a 4-course meal. I mowed the lawn, and now I'm going to go vacuum the house. All with a smile on his face. Right? He knows none of those things are really fun. He just does it to mess with my head. But I have to say, I find that kids are really quick to compliment. A few days ago, my 7-year-old asked me, will you draw a boat for me? So I did my best rendition of a boat, some water and some fish. I even made a cute little captain. And he looks at me in the most genuine and sincere voice. He says, Tati, I didn't know you were an artist. You could sell this painting. I said to him, you know what? I didn't know you were a motivational speaker. If you're like me, you'll notice that your kids go through different phases. My 4-year-old, he's in that independent phase. He wants to do everything by himself. Pour his own cereal, tie his shoes. He's basically ready to drive the car. But we're on our road trip and we find ourselves at the Statue of Liberty. And he says to me, you need to carry me. Well, why do I need to carry you? I don't know how to walk. What do you mean you don't know how to walk? I said, give me one good reason why I should carry you. And he looks at me and he says, because I'm precious? Look, we all know having kids is challenging. It's really difficult. That's why I was going to start a support group for people that have 4 or more kids. I thought we could get together and talk about our challenges, learn some new strategies, maybe even find a mentor. But then I found out that this group already exists. Maybe you've heard of it. It's called AA. You know, I'm not originally from Vancouver. I'm from New York. I moved here about 12 years ago. And being Jewish on the West Coast is very different than back east. You know, over here, I'm the only Jewish person at my work, which it has its benefits. I can pretty much make up holidays and get time off. I'm like, next week is the anniversary of the Harvest Festival, where Frodo gives the ring to Obi-Wan.
That's great.
2 days off, no questions asked. No one wants a discrimination lawsuit. One of my coworkers asked me, he said, can you describe to me what does it mean to be part of a Jewish family? So I said, I'll do my best to sum it up in one sentence. Being part of a Jewish family, on the one hand, it means that no matter what I do, my mother thinks I'm perfect. And on the other hand, no matter what I do, my wife thinks I'm a shmendrik. Of course, I had to explain what a shmendrik was, so it loses something in translation. I went to Toivel, some of my dishes in a lake nearby, and I see there's a 5-year-old watching me, very excited. He says to me, I have an uncle that's just like you. So naturally, I got excited. I said, you have an uncle who's Jewish? He said, no, I have an uncle who's homeless. You know, when I first moved to Vancouver, I went for a walk in the local park with my wife. And as we were walking, there's a man approaching us. And he smiles at me. So I did the natural New Yorker thing. I put my hand over my wallet. Then as we get closer, he says, good morning. How are you? I said to my wife, what's this guy's problem? I look out my window one day and I see one of my neighbors, John, he's picking up garbage in the street. So being from New York, I thought he had acquired some community service hours. I asked my wife, she said, no, Yisrael, this is Vancouver and people care about the environment. John wants to live in a green space. It makes John happy to pick up the garbage in the street. So every day before I go to sleep, I take some garbage from our house and I sprinkle it at the bottom of his driveway. Because if I can make even one person smile, I'm that type of guy. That's what I got for tonight, guys.
Yeah. All right, Yisrael, can you put us all in some kind of, the gallery view? And let's just finish off with a nice little chat. And take from anyone, I don't know why my computer keeps doing that. Sorry about that. That was my computer. Can you unmute? Everyone here?
We're unmuted.
Yeah, we're all here.
What do you guys want to chat about? How's everyone doing?
Woo! Little tired, but okay. 2 hours.
There's still 185 people watching. We love to hear what you think.
I'm hungry.
Can you send the comments of what I can only scroll to 10 to like 10:15 and earlier and later. Can you send comments for from I'm just curious when I was up.
Yeah, I'm just curious about me
What is
too.
your handle?
About me.
Yeah, let's go through some. Let's shout out a little bit. Yisrael Bernath, your Twitter handle is
Montreal Rabbi.
Montreal Rabbi. Give him a nice follow. A lot of inspiration, a lot of good stuff. You can follow me, Chomp Face, everywhere. Gilad.
You gotta tell them how to spell chunt.
CHOLENT. That's how I spell it. It'll probably autocorrect to cholesterol.
Cholesterol face.
Cholesterol face. Gilad, where can you be found?
On the Insta, I'm at Juzel.
Juzel, there you go. Levi Goldstein.
How do you spell that?
JEWZL. Juzel.
Okay.
Hold on. Ellie Leibowitz.
At Ellie Leibowitz on Twitter and Facebook. Twitter ELILEBOWICZ, and on Instagram Ellie Comedyagram, which is just a terrible Instagram handle, but Ellie Comedyagram.
Well, it's easier than your last name. Did you think of changing your last name?
The joke I say is that when my people say, "Why do you spell it so weird?" and I say, well, my grandparents had to get the heck out of Europe in a hurry. They didn't have time to double check the spelling. And that's the dark joke I have. Yeah.
Yisrael, you went really dark in your humor there.
I'm sorry. It just kind of happens.
He hasn't left the house.
Yisrael Shurak, how can you be found?
Yisrael Shurak on Facebook.
Oh, that's easy. That's quick.
In
Levi?
Vancouver, things are easier.
Levi Goldstein?
I can't be found.
Don't find Levi. Levi finds you.
Yeah, he finds you. Ezra Franken.
No, I mean, I'm like, I have email, Yahoo. Anybody remember that?
No way.
Send me
I
a
use
fax.
Yahoo also. I think we're the last 2 people to use Yahoo.
Exactly.
By the way,
Hey, Yahoo.
wouldn't it be fun if Ezra, I don't know where he went, but if he thought it was over and just now went on the back exercise? All right, Ellie, I scrolled up. Here, let me read it.
What
to you.
happened to Mendy Pellin, by the way?
Yeah, he had to go first because
His kids ate him.
his kids ate him. Sarah Goldenberg wrote, Ellie is excellent. Thank you. AY Karsh wrote LOL at the Honda Odyssey. You've got a ton of laughter while you were going. MR wrote great stuff, Ellie. Zalman Maisha Silverman, great set. Jikaver Nani wrote, Ellie, you're the best. And then someone suggested.
Can I ask you a question? You said 185 people were watching?
At one point, we had close to 300.
400.
Wow.
People are really bored.
That's more than we had on NDG
Chabad. Someone suggested Moshe Lair. When I was young, Moshe Lair was one of those guys I looked at. He was very funny in camp. So yeah, I'm hoping he joins one day. There's a whole bunch of comments. Let's go down to the bottom. Let's see. Lots of Canadians here. Okay, a lot of people are thanking us. Zalman Maisha Silverman, Svi, we're keeping your seat and show warm for you for Pesach.
Gross.
Yosef Hutt, very entertaining. Thank you. Looking forward to the next one. Thanks to all of you. I'd like to do this at a regular time. So Rabbi Hershkowitz for sure uses it. He does. Rabbi Hershkowitz uses AOL. He does use AOL. How can we find you guys on Zoom? You cannot join our Zoom account. This is only for comedians. God willing, next week we'll be on Facebook Live.
But you can become a comedian.
Huh?
Enjoy.
Lady Goldstein, you should move across the street to Hempstead. Joshua Margolis, hey, nicely done all. Rifki Pearl asks if there's anyone who has a Juno account.
Juno is almost as good as Pocket Mail. Remember Pocket Mail?
I used Pocket Mail. Someone asked me to actually share a story. Chaim Pearl, he wrote in there that I should share. And this is a true story that involves Pocket Mail. So Chaim, I'm telling the story. When I was in Morristown Yeshiva, so that was the early years of Lubavitch news websites, and I was very bored. So me and a couple of buddies, I had a Pocket Mail. You could change the from address on a Pocket Mail, and we decided to make it on the news. So we try to think of a plausible story that will be exciting enough to make it on the news, but weird enough that it's not like a typical story. So we came up with this idea, a pipe that burst in the mikvah. That would be exciting, Shemeis will probably put it up. The website was Shemeis. So long story short, we had a couple of Pocket Mails where you'd have to dial in and it would send off your emails. So we created a whole bunch of fake from addresses, and we wrote in different styles. We wrote some emails that I've heard from my son that there's a mikvah explosion, and it wasn't me, someone decided to throw in one of their rumors of Buffering being injured, Yeshiva students being injured. And so we sent it off this is going to be fun. We made the top of the page, and the news was all over Chabad. Panicky parents were calling. My parents called to try to find out if I was alive. A pipe burst in the mikvah, and that's the story of Pocket Mail, my experience in Morristown Yeshiva. I nearly got thrown out. But yeah, I survived it. Jake,
should have said there was a shark.
Yeah. Well, a shark would be more believable, right, than hot water in a mikvah in yeshiva. Jake Turks is watching, and he was not available for comment. Okay, lower your hand, Jake. Lower your hand. Thank you. That's a Donald Trump joke.
That was 9 news cycles ago. Okay. That was like 10 years ago in the news world these days.
Yeah. Okay, so we still have 147 watching. You think it's time to sign out?
How many? How many still watching?
100, about 150.
Tell them to get Netflix.
People are really so bored.
Tzvi, I gotta thank you, man.
Thank you guys all for coming on. I really want to thank all the comedians, all the people who came on, especially the people who, there are some people on here who actually are working hard to become actual stand-up comedians professionally, and some of them are professional. Eli Leibowitz, he's like my comedy mashpia. Thank you so much for coming. People, hire him.
I taught him everything that I don't know. So
that explains why no one laughed at my jokes.
Yeah, but Tzvi, I took a shower tonight, and I put on a shirt. You see that? I put on a shirt.
Yeah.
And I buttoned it up, and then I went to do bedtime with my kids, and they're like, "But where are you going? There's a virus." And I'm like, "I have something tonight," but they're like, "But where are you going?" And I'm like, "To the basement."
I was impressed that you showered and put on a shirt.
And I went to the basement.
Yisrael Shorak is another professional comedian. He does the rounds in in
Right.
Vancouver, and really hire him too. He's great. You can find some of his stuff also on YouTube. So, folks, I think that's it. I think let's end on a good note. Make sense?
Yeah. Thanks for organizing, Svi. Awesome. Really great.
Thank you for organizing you.
Thanks for joining.
Good Pesach.
Yeah, hopefully we'll be back next week, and hopefully it'll be Facebook Live.
Am I the only one without the beard? I think so.
No, Leibowitz.
Huh?
Okay.
Gilad.
All right.
Working on it. I'm working on it.
It'll come. It'll come.
More years.
Refuah Shalema, by the
We'll
way.
have one by Rosh Hashanah.
Yisrael and Eli, Refuah Shalema. Hopefully you guys.
Thank you. Thank you very much. We'll see. Anybody know how to change my name so it doesn't say iPad and it says my name?
Just go on your thing and there's a way to change it.
What thing? What does that mean?
On your Zoom thing. It'll give you-
Oh, is that how it is on Zoom?
You could create an account. Just sign in.
I have it. I have one. All right. Good to know.
When you log in, you could change your name. Only when you
All
log
right. Well, I'm glad 180 people got to see how technologically not savvy I was. So thank you. All right.
Okay.
Missed. He's using an Android.
It's an iPad, but thanks. All right.
Peace
Good
out.
night.
Night. Yisrael, turn it off.
Ya'av Yava.
It's off. I think almost.